Dude, just backlashed so bad. I lost my worm. Woo. It's this wind, man. I'm telling you. Oh, I was able to save it though. It's so windy right now. I think it's up to like 30. That was like the worst backlash I've ever had on this reel. Luckily, it looks like I can save it. You're out at Falls Township Lake in Levittown, Pennsylvania, and I got some minnows, some bloodworms out on a bobber. What's up, Don? How you doing? Doing everything I can to make it work on this very windy day, but the wind is not letting up. So I've walked all over this park today trying to find a spot where I'm blocked by the wind. And the original spot that I wanted to try, which is all the way on the other side of the park, usually has a really deep hole and it's usually very blocked by the wind. But today, because of the direction of the wind, it's coming from the west. It's like smacking me right in the face over there. So came over here to this side. I've caught some bass on this side before. This is a nice spot, but there's a lot of pressure here. There's people fishing there, someone fishing over there. So I'm hoping that my minnows will help separate me from the other guys right now. I might make a recast because these frozen minnows, they fall off the hook easy. So I gotta keep checking. I'm gonna go make a cast over here real quick. I'll be right back. I've caught some decent sized bass in this lake before. Around this time last year, I caught one bass that was 3.5 pounds. So this spot has some nice bass. It's just very overpressured. There's a lot of people that fish here. Very windy today, so I'm gonna do the best I can to hang out. But I don't know if I'll be able to handle the wind. Eventually, it might get a little overwhelming. Cody, what's up? I'm in Pennsylvania at Levittown at a lake called Falls Township, kind of outside of Philly, not too. And just a week ago, this lake was frozen, so I was a little nervous driving here because I didn't know if it was going to be frozen still. But it's not no more. It's all thawed and it's wide open. But it's just that the wind is so bad and it's so wide open here that it's like smacking me right in the face. Science kid, what up? I do have some lures I want to toss out, but I'm just taking a break from the wind. From tossing in the wind, I just backlashed my reel and lost my worm. So if you missed it, I got a bobber out there with some minnows. Some of these frozen worms or fish. Then I got some of these leftover bloodworms too from when I went striper fishing like a week ago. After this fish, I might toss a worm out and see how that goes. Problem with those frozen minnows is once they're thawed, they don't stay on the hook well. So a lot of times on the cast, even on the retrieval, you lose the worm, the fish. So I'm giving it some time, but I might put a worm on soon. There's a bunch of fish in here. There's bass, there's crappie, there's I think there's tiger muskie in this water. I've heard there's walleye. I think there's catfish here. So there's a bunch of species in this water. And it's actually really warm out right now. It's just the wind. But I'm not cold at all. I feel great. There's some spots when the wind stops coming and it's just sunlight on me, and I feel like I should take my hoodie off. And it's hard to tell sometimes. It looks like my bobber's going under, but the waves are so strong that they're just pulling it under a little bit. This is a good spot though. I can see me catching something here today. This is like a nice kind of channel that goes in to like a small like pond. And a lot of times the bass will hang out here and wait for little bait fish to come out of that pond and travel out, which is why I think it's ideal for me to have my bait out over here. They're waiting for some bait fish to pass through so they can snag them up. It was good to be back out. I just caught my first fish of the year. Um, this Wednesday I caught a nice catfish in the Schuylkill River at the park. Just on a simple worm too, nothing crazy. Um, this it seems like the water temp is starting to rise again. You know, and the rivers it's still a little cold, but in these more shallow bodies of water, the water heats up quicker, and it looks like we're at like low 50s for the water temp, high 40s. So the fish will get a little more active in these lakes. It seems like. I want to keep my phone up. It's kind of why I was debating on even streaming today because it's hard to maintain this with the wind being so big. Better. Definitely a mood killer the way that just went kind of shot day to day. I would have fished so differently if the wind wasn't so bad. I think we're literally at like 38 miles an hour for the high for the gusts. And same thing tomorrow. It sucks. Like the weather starts getting warmer, but then they throw in some wind. Like they're just doing everything they can to stop us from like getting this nice weather again. I would love to catch a nice sized bass today. I've been itching for some bass. I've been fishing this whole winter trying to find spots where there's like bass, or at least where I found bass early season last year. But I think because we had a colder winter this year than we did the year before, it's like a little later of a start to the season. And so there's just updates for these not that are biting. And there's a bunch of canals near me that I'll usually fish. And even the smaller fish like the sunnies and the bluegills, I'm not even really finding any of those right now. Miles rules, what's up? How you doing? It is windy as hell out here right now. As you can see, it is blowing the water like crazy. I got some minnows out there on a bobber, trying to catch some bass in this lake. Caught a nice bass in this lake last year. Around this time last year, there was like 3.5 pounds. But I was saying earlier to the chat, I think the winter we had a colder winter this year, so I think we have a little bit of a later start than last year. But that's a nice size bass. That's- The wind is so bad. I was debating on even streaming today because it's hard to like handle this stand. I need to get more legit set up. Bob is like dancing around right now, but it could be because the water is just so strong. Might have to check it soon. In Pennsylvania, you get the weirdest weather. Like we had Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. It all went up to the 70s. And then Thursday it snowed. And now we're in the 50s and it's warm, but the wind is ridiculous. So it's like you always get some type of inclement weather. You can't have good weather in Philly. You'll just never have it. But then when it gets hot, when some comes, it just goes right up to 90 degrees. And you're like sweating your ass off every time you leave the house. I definitely think after I bring this fish in, I'm gonna swap it out and put on a blood. See if that helps change the look. I think that blood trail will help this fish. You think the wind's bad here? I was on the other side of the park earlier and trying to fish. This was the spot I initially wanted to fish, and it is so bad. It's like it's smacking you in the face. It's just constant, high intensity, like strong, fast winds. It was unfishable. I went all the way over there, set up all my stuff, got ready to start fishing, and then I just made a decision. I knew it was going to be unfishable up there, so I set up, drove all the way to the other side of the park, set up over here. So I've caught fish over there. I've caught fish all over this park. So there's fish everywhere. But that other spot has like a deep hole, and a lot of times you'll find those fish in this preseason in the deep holes. But I still have faith, even though the wind's kind of messing my day up. I still have faith I'll get something today. Look, there's other people that are setting up right now, or that set up a couple minutes ago, and everyone that comes in to fish, they sit up for 5 minutes and then they leave because the wind is so bad. It's even hard for me. I'm just trying to pull through because I was really excited to get out here and fish today. One kind of threw me off guard. Honestly, the weather is so nice. The temperature is so nice. I would have taken my kayak out today, but the wind is way too high. I typically won't take the kayak out if it's like more than 10 miles an hour. Maybe 15 is like depending on what's going on, but typically the kayak is to me it's a little hard difficult after anything over 10 miles an hour for the wind. We're at like 38 today. So keep this have a conversation. I really want to catch a bass on the live stream for you guys. Seems to be doing something right now. My barber seems to be down some nice sized basses. Like you'd be surprised. Because it's not a huge lake. The lake is only a couple miles probably from one side to the other, like maybe 2 miles. It's not huge. Compared to some of the other lakes around here, like Naka Lake is massive. I went to Naka last year, I think August, and we rented a John boat and took it out. I was trying to catch some pike, but we ended up catching some bass and crappie and perch, like big fat yellow perches over there. But that lake is so big that like you need days to really navigate it and like scout the spots out. But this lake is small enough. You could, if you put the time in and fish right, you can kind of hit the whole lake in it. I know this fish over here, and I'm actually since I'm on this side of the lake, all the wind is blowing towards me, and so to me that says that all the bait is coming out here, and all the fish are going to come to this side for the bait. So as much as I wanted to fish that other side, I actually think there's a perk to me being here today with the wind direction. We got a west wind. If I'm able to come here tomorrow, I'm going to try to hit that spot on the other side where there's a really deep hole, like 16 feet or so, and the wind will be opposite. I think it's gonna be going like southeast, so it shouldn't be smacking me in the face over there. Might check my bait. Just do a recast. I just moved it over a little closer to me. I tried hitting my spot over there because it gets kind of deep over there, but wasn't having any luck. I've been fishing. I've had my bait over there for like 20 minutes and no bites, it seems like. So now I'm a little closer here. This is like a channel where bait fish comes through from the right side. There's like a small pond. So a lot of times bass hang out here because bait fish come through. So I'm kind of hoping to set myself up. Hoping there's bites. This wind is brutal. Luckily, it isn't cold. It's actually hot. If it wasn't for the wind, I would lose the hoodie right now. Gonna pile some rocks around the stand just to get the up and knock it over. Seems like the wind is just getting worse and worse as it goes. It's not getting any easier for me. Trying to give you guys a better view of the rod. Really want to toss this bloodworm out soon. Maybe we'll just swap this minnow out for a bloodworm because I want to see if that blood trail is this wind is like killing me. I think I'm gonna swap out the worm. So you guys, my setup just like a bobber. Shots and a bit. So I'm gonna take a ball on that bloodworm and see if that blood trail helps me. Let's see. And usually I'll rig this a little differently. I'll point it up the hook, but I'm just the worm is so long, it's kind of small. Bunch of see if that changes anything. Now having that blood trail might help me out. You would think that the minnow, like the mini shiner, would be the move, but honestly, sometimes I think the worms are better, especially if you get a bloodworm and not a nightcrawler. The bloodworms have that blood trail. Sometimes I think you need that scent, like that strong scent of blood to pull fish in. So we'll see if anything changes. I want to toss out some more lures. Like I want to keep myself occupied. It seems like like impossible to cast anything. So there were more people fishing earlier, but I think they bailed. I don't think they could handle the wind. Yo, what's up? Not reading that name out loud, but how you doing? Fishing for some bass right now. I just tossed some bloodworms out on that hook on a bobber. The wind is very high, so it's messing me up a little bit, making it a little harder for me to toss out any lures like I wanted to. But I typically have better luck for the fish here on like minnows or worms anyway. So really just wanted to toss some lures out to keep myself occupied. But I'm getting backlashes from the wind, like pushing it or like pulling my lures in a way. So just hanging out there. Probably won't be able to stay out as long as I wanted to. Because of the wind. I don't know. I was gonna fish here like all day, but the wind's just so a couple hours and then just call it. All right. Top what it's thoughts. It's bright as hell out. I feel it's just gonna be here. But this is just like a nonstop. I'm just getting smacked at this. Very boring. Probably gonna end up drinking some beers tonight since I'm gonna after dealing with this all day. I think I'm gonna start chilling. I'm definitely gonna want to drink a couple beers. I just got this GoPro a few weeks ago, and it is absolutely amazing. I had before I had this, I had some Amazon action camera, like a Picasso or something, I think it was, and it kind of sucked. It was cheap, like it was a good starter camera. It was only like $60 for the kit, but the quality was really low end. Like the contrast, the video was really shoddy. If I have anything on the water on a sunny day, it was like impossible to see, and the audio was terrible. So I finally put the money out for this GoPro, and it's drastically different. Like definitely worth the money. I'm getting some good shots with this of the things that I'm doing. Yeah, I just picking up. I'm trying not to stare at the bobber and like drive myself crazy, but it's hard not to. Day just isn't really turning out where I thought it was gonna. There's some tiger muskie, I think, in this water too. I've heard people catch tiger muskie in here, and I think someone told me they caught like a 20-pound channel catfish in this lake once, which I didn't even know channel catfish got that big. He could have been lying. It might not have been 20 pounds. He could have just said that. But there's some nice fish in this lake, man. Once it's like really fishing season and the weather is like back to normal again, I'll be out here a lot. It's just that the fish here are very picky. Like it's not easy to catch fish at this lake. You've really got to like stay consistent and like keep swapping out and trying new things, which I'm not really doing a good job of right now. But the wind is just kind of killing my mood. Looks like my bob was getting hit right now, but I'm not going to touch it until it comes under. This is so disappointing how this day's turned out. Man. I had high hopes for this weekend. They're kind of shut down. Like I was going to try to get to the tomorrow morning, but I think the wind's going to be even worse tomorrow than it is today. So I might just get drunk at the house, hang out, hang out with the family, I guess. So there's spots I could hit too. I just don't really know where. What I mean is I don't know where. Um, I have to figure out how to get to them. They're like a couple minutes away, I think. But there's like another thing. I can't believe I'm not getting any action. I would have thought I would have had at least some nibbles or something, but it doesn't seem like I'm getting anything going on right now. Usually there's a bunch of fish passing through here. The bobber's acting so weird, but it could just be the current right now. Looks like it's going under and then back up. I think it's just a water messing with me. We're gonna wheel down. Not what I was looking for today. Uh, Trying to get this, trying to get the chains here. Shit, can't even hold this up now. There you go. If I could even just catch one fish today, I'd be happy to be honest. But especially since it's preseason. It's too I'd be happy to walk away with one bass. I'm gonna give this bloodworm so much of a chance. I'm gonna swap out back to another minnow, I think. Muddy Joker, what's up? No, I'm fishing for some bass. I got some bloodworms out on a slip bobber right now. I had some minnows out earlier, but they wouldn't get me any action, so I just swapped out to a worm. I'm at a lake in Levittown in Pennsylvania, but the wind is brutal. Yeah, it's nice, but wind is so bad. I'm having a hard time doing anything. I was tossing some lures earlier. It's hard to just cast anything out there. I was here around this time last year. I was at this spot and I caught like a nice 3.5 pound bass, like right here. And but it was a little warmer around this time this year. We had a cold winter, so so I fished for walleye this whole winter and didn't get anything. December, January, when I could in January because there were some days when it was like way too cold. And I fished a lot of February for walleye on the Schuylkill River, but I didn't have any luck. I think that they're moving. Like I don't think they're at the spots that they used to be at in my area. Steelhead, I've never caught any, but I'm going to New York probably in September to fish this creek that goes off of Lake Erie called Cataracts Creek, and I'm fish there for steelhead. So it'll be the first time ever fishing for them. But I've been watching a lot of videos and like doing research and stuff and learning how to fish for them, get rigs. Oh, let's do it. Fish on it. It's kind of killing my vibe. Yeah, make sure you get the special license. Oh yeah, yeah, I heard. I know that there's spots where it's like native territory, and then there's I'm probably gonna get the license, like the 3-day license. I plan on going there. Like, have you fished at that creek before? At the Cattaraugus, or had any luck there for steelheads? Yeah, they got real picky. Yeah, yeah. I'm debating on going there. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm debating on going there um earlier in the season just to kind of check the spot out and see like what it's like over there. Kind of on the areas that I'm gonna come back. I'm kind of prepared and I'm not learning the spot on the trip. Live in Pennsylvania, like east. I live in Philadelphia, so I think it's like a 5 or 6 hour drive. I think. But yeah, I'm thinking September. That's what I'm thinking. Me and my brother and watch the grass. Yeah. There's some walleye in there too, right? Like I know there's walleye in Lake Erie. You ever see any walleye trickle down into those creeks where you're fishing for steelhead? Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, I've been obsessed with catching a walleye. I still haven't caught my first one, but I gotta tell you, in Philly, the fishing is really, really shoddy. Like it's a, a good day is like catching one fish. Like you're happy to catch one fish. They hit the sacks. Okay. Yeah, I heard like the beads are a big thing over there. So that was what I was gonna do was just like a bait fishing break for the steelhead. But it's gonna be a whole nother game fishing over there, like in New York. It's just gonna be completely different. So that's what I was thinking about going there in advance and just kind of learning the area and seeing what it's like. Over here for walleye, they say like jerk baits, paddle tails, things like that. You can go to Mighty Oak, catch your variety. Mighty Oak. Where's that at? Mighty Oak. J11 for walleye. Okay. Thinking about Oak Orchard Creek. Okay. Okay. Oh, yeah. I'll look into it. Then I'm gonna take this arm off and put a minnow back on. This is what I had. I don't know. I think honestly, it probably is more likely I'll get some on a minnow. Just not gonna use these worms up. These drones are huge too. I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see what happens. I'm being lazy as hell right now. I kind of like there's no way I'm casting any lures in this wind. I keep saying to myself when the wind dies down. I'm gonna put a lure on my whole toss something out, but there's no way I'm tossing anything out. Honestly, I'm probably gonna give it like another 14, 15 minutes, and then I'll probably call the stream because it's too much with this. Going back and forth, and the stand keeps falling. Fishing for some bass. If anyone's interested, trying to catch some bass. Got some minnows out there on a bobber. I've been going back and forth between minnows and some worms, but I think a minnow's gonna get me some. The wind's a little blue. I know I keep talking about it. I was tossing some lures out here. It's just hard to cast. All this going on. Uh, uh, pouring. I wish it would say just how it is right now with the wind. Like no wind. We get small intervals, small windows where the wind dies down, and it picks back up again. I don't think anyone else is catching anything today either. I've seen a lot of people fishing here today, and it doesn't seem like anyone has had any luck. It could just be could just be a bad day. There's some days where I'll talk to like a bunch of the different people fishing here, and all of them would be like, "Yeah, horrible day today." And then those days where everyone would be like, "Yeah, I had success with this or that." Like, it seems to be like either they're just on or off all of the fish in the lake for the day. So I could have came here like unluckily at a bad day. Man, not the day I pictured. Not the day I pictured at all. It's time is it right now? It's quarter after 3. All right, guys, I think I might have to call this straight. not having any luck, and this wind is just brutal right now. It's real hard to do anything. So, thanks everyone for watching. I think I'll be back on tomorrow in the morning around 10 a.m. So, hopefully I'll see you guys